Hello and welcome back to my channel. You are watching Through My Eyes Beauty, where you can find some mom hacks, makeup, and a little bit of the military lifestyle as I live it. My name is Ty. If this is your first time here, and welcome. I am so ready to get started with this video. I'm actually going to do my foundation and everything on camera because I have tested this concealer and powder situation on multiple occasions. I want to say 3 or 4 times now. This will be the first time I actually try it with a foundation other than Fenty, and it'll be my first time doing a powder versus powder type situation as well. So I'm going to go with a foundation that I trust, which is the Revlon Airbrush Effects in the shade Caramel. And if you're curious, I am $350 in the Fenty Beauty foundation. As of right now, I'm going to give you all the tea, okay? Because I don't know how you all feel about the makeup game right now, but I feel like there are a lot of new releases. And for me to be a full-blown makeup junkie and love everything, I gotta be, smart about the way I spend my money. So in order for me to do that, there are just times where you gotta be willing to test, trial, and figure out if things are already better or worse than what you have in your arsenal. So I first tried the concealer on my Facebook Live probably about a week ago. I literally got it the day it came out, went live, and it was a lot of fun. I did my makeup and it was stunning, but unfortunately shortly after I finished my live, it was probably about maybe an hour or 45 minutes or something like that, and I realized probably about 2-3 hours after the live, I want to say, my face just looked really greasy and ugly, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is not what I'm used to my makeup looking like. So I thought about it and I was like, okay, what did I do different? Number one, I have dry skin. So Fenty Beauty foundation is going to be hit or miss for anybody. If you have dry skin and you have not yet tried that foundation, just understand that it might be a hit or miss for you. I have since then found a primer that works, but the primer that I used for my live was the Smashbox oil primer. And according to the directions on the oil primer, you use like 1 drop for your whole face. That 1 drop didn't make it for my whole face, so I used 2 drops. That's it. So I was like, you know what? I tried something different with the primer. Let me just, I'm gonna charge it to the game. So the next day I used the Urban Decay Optical Illusion primer with the Fenty, with the concealer, the powder, and everything looked really, really good. The powder to me was a little bit drying up underneath my eyes, but I was like, okay, looking at other reviews that I've seen, it says use a little bit. And the way I applied my powder that day was I used a brush, period. I used a brush to tap it under my eyes, but because the concealer is so creamy and a thicker consistency, you're going to want to hard set it. And when I say hard set, I mean take a sponge, take a beauty sponge or something like that, and you want to dab it into the powder itself, make sure it's even all over, and then press it under your eyes. So that's what I did on the 3rd time, and I got amazing results. However, with those amazing results, everything was looking smooth, everything was looking pretty. I didn't think it was better than my number 1 powder. My number 1 powder is DermaBlend. So what we're going to do today, we're going to still use the same Fenty concealers because I feel like I like the concealers. I'm just not sure about the powder. The consistency with these are thicker. It sort of reminds me of the Kat Von D concealers when they first came out. Like, I feel like it was really, really thick and the coverage on it was really good as well. But I don't think I have anything else in my possession that is like this, at least not off the top of my head. So we're gonna go in for my concealers. I got 360 and 330. This is 360, which is why I didn't mind going under it. And I also have neutral, leaning on the golden yellow side skin tone. So that is why I chose 360, because it's neutral. And then 330, again, neutral, leaning over to the yellow side. So boom, highlight shade, and this is more of a natural day for me. So we're gonna go with 360. So there we go. With these concealers, you do not need a lot. So what I do is, that's pretty much it. And then I just swipe underneath my eyes to make sure I have coverage. Same thing with this, turning it over using the same sponge just a couple times, just to get right in that deep setness that I have in my eyes there. And then one swipe underneath. I'll spread that out with my finger, and not even a lot, but just spread it out with my finger, and I'm gonna let it sit. Just spreading it all over where I have a dark spot. And then as that sits, I'll go ahead and put it in my normal spots, down the bridge of my nose, there, and a little bit on my chin. I feel like I just did a bad thing. I thought I saw that it wasn't going to cover up underneath my eyes, and I'm pretty sure I probably just added too much concealer, but we'll see. So for my contour, I'm just going to go in with this Makeup Forever Pro Sculpting Duo in number 2. Now for the Fenty Beauty powders, I got my under eye shade and my all over face shade. So my go-to all over face powder is the CoverFX illuminating setting powder in the shade medium. Absolutely love that powder. If I'm trying to be flawless, that is what I use. If I'm going out, that is what I use. Like that's me right there. And then in the Fenty Beauty powders, I have Hazelnut for my all over shade, and I have Banana for up underneath my eyes. Let me go ahead and blend out my foundation or my concealer. Now, do you all see what I mean? Like, the coverage is legit. Like, I didn't need a whole bunch of concealer, and I need to stop before I start picking the concealer up off of my face. But to say I picked the color that is closest to my skin tone and didn't use much, like that's awesome to me. Now, immediately going in with my powders, applying it with the Beauty Blender up underneath the eyes. So I'm going to go in with the Fenty Beauty powder under this eye, and then my DermaBlend under my left. Okay. Okay, so now this was the side, turning it over to the blank side to go in with the DermaBlend. And I'm doing it both the same way, tapping it into the powder, dusting it off. That's where I dust it off. And I'm just rolling it to ensure that the powder is evenly distributed over the sponge. Alright, so I'm trying to bring y'all in. This is the DermaBlend side, and I haven't dusted off the excess yet, or the excess. And this is the Fenty Beauty side. And I'm going to do the exact same thing with the powders for my chin. And you can definitely see a difference. Like, this is a little bit more muted, where this is a little bit more bright. So going in with a Fenty Beauty again on the forehead. Ooh, too much. And on this side of my chin. Flipping it over. I feel like that was really silly. Just use a DermaBlend on my nose. It's not gonna matter. And also I should probably go over my smile lines because I have them. So going back with my Fenty Beauty just to cover my smile lines. For the all over face powders, remember this side is the Fenty Beauty side, this side is the CoverFX and DermaBlend side. So now we're going to go in with the face powders. Both of these brushes are go-to brushes for me to go all over the face. Matter of fact, I'll switch. This is my #1 go-to brush. You will find this brush in pretty much all of my videos. I'm pretty sure it's every single last video that I own. You will find this brush. And this one is also very, very, very nice. How many times do I say very? In my last video, I was going crazy with that word. This one is also very nice, but it's not my go-to, not as much as this one. So we'll go with Fenty Beauty with my favorite brush, and then we'll go with the CoverFX with this brush here. Still beautiful. I just don't reach for it as much. So this is the final look. I'm not gonna lie, I was really expecting this to be a fail on Fenty Beauty's side, but it's not too much of a difference. I feel like I should have maybe exfoliated my skin before I did this tutorial, so I do see some texture, but this is the Fenty Beauty side, and these are my go-tos. Now both sides look really good, and I can't really tell in person, but I feel like maybe this side looks a little bit more brighter, but this side looks a little bit more natural. Does that make sense? What do y'all think? I feel like it's almost a tie. Like, I think I put a little too much powder underneath my eyes though, because I'm not used to it being so textured, but also like I said, I didn't exfoliate, and I also didn't put on an eye cream. All I did was put on a moisturizer, and then I used my Too Faced Hangover primer, which I don't know. Don't mind the creasing. Like, I have creases, I have wrinkles underneath my eyes, so I'm going to have creasing underneath my eyes. That's just me. Wow. Let me zoom y'all out. This is the final look. I OD'd on highlighter because I just felt that in my spirit. I'm pretty sure it was Me, Money, and Hustler Baby. That's been my go-to. What do y'all think? Do y'all think one side looks better than the other? Like, I promise y'all, from the trial and error that I've done, #1, I do want to say it feels like everything that Fenty Beauty comes out with, there is a learning curve. Not quite Anastasia Beverly Hills subculture learning curve, but you kind of have to play with it. So the way you do your concealer on a normal, or like the way I do my concealer on a normal, I pack it on, I'm able to do, you know, load it on, and it's never a problem. With this concealer, It's too thick. You put too much on, then you're going to force yourself to have creases. I already have creases, but when I put too much on, my creases was coming down here. And I'm like, that's filthy. Go easy on the concealer. Put them in your problem areas. Blend it out. You'll be good to go. It does blend out with a brush and a beauty blender. Like I said, the only thing you want to make sure that you do is hard set it because it is such a thick concealer. These powders are very lightweight, very smooth. My foundation is not moving around on that side. Neither is it moving around on this side. There is transfer. It's not transfer resistant or anything, and I didn't hard set for it to not come up either. I've personally seen my makeup a little bit smoother than this, but like I said, I'm pretty sure it's because of my skincare routine. But other than that, this look was kind of Rihanna-esque inspired. Of course, the inner corner was inspired by Kylie Jenner, but the blue lip inspired by Clapback. This is actually a metallic lipstick by Maybelline in Midnight Blue. Here she go. So looks just like this, and it was on sale for $3.17. So it was like, I tell y'all, I love supporting certain brands. I love Riri, you know, but sometimes you just gotta take advantage of what you find. You know what I'm saying? There's no reason for me to buy Clapback now. Like, that's one of the ones I really wanted. But I'm coming for Wasabi. I feel like I'm coming for that green. But I have a million other green lipsticks that I'm never going to get to the bottom of, so we'll see. Ooh, we should do a flash test. The Fenty Beauty side is definitely brighter. I wouldn't call it quite flashback, and I think if I just went over it with a little bit of the darker powder, a little bit more, and just blend out the edges, it would probably be just fine. But the DermaBlend definitely looks a lot better. Like, there's no sign of flashback whatsoever. But I like it. So that concludes the video. Be good, be smart, be safe. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know which side you think looks the best. I'm thinking it's just about a tie with the exception of the under eye flashback test, but let me know what you think. Maybe you see something a little bit different than I do. Be good, be smart, be safe, and I'll see you in the next one.